Welcome back to Making a Major. This is stage 13 from the Outland Empire, USPSA Level 2. Got it loaded up here in Practice Sim Designer. Let's have a look at the WSB. So this is a 12-round, 60-point Comstock short course. There are 5 USPSA targets, 2 steel targets, best 2 hits per target score. Steel's got a fall to score. So handgun start position is standing with both hands touching the red barrel. Handgun loaded and holstered. PCC start position, standing with PCC held in both hands and above shoulders. PCC loaded, muzzle touching the red barrel, safety on. Okay, so above shoulders, okay. We're just going to be starting like this for PCC people, muzzle touching that barrel. It's just, this is normal for people, so let's try doing something a little bit weird for them. Especially since PCC's, whatever. This barrel, is it going to be red on the match day? Probably not. It will most likely be white or some other color. I might change the WSB to say designated barrel so that the ROs can tell you which barrel it is. We put red here because this looks good in a diagram for a matchbook. And it's also obvious which barrel it is. That's just one of those things. So, how do you shoot the stage? Well, this is your shooting area. It is an elevated balance beam. This is going to be about 8 inches wide, I think. Not something that's overly difficult to do. This should be pretty doable. One thing to call out is Popper 2 activates this guy. This is a bobber, and that guy is visible at rest. Okay, so what can you see from where? So standing in the far left, I got piece of steel, paper, and if that bobber was up, I'd have that bobber. As I move over, I start seeing that piece of steel, and I see that paper target. I can also see that bobber from right here. That's kind of nice, because I could shoot that guy and then shoot that bobber. As you can see from here, I can see a sliver of that bobber. Per the rules, I could shoot that. We're going to make that not a thing. Like, during setup, it'll just be tilted just enough, so can't do that. And yes, that is a no-shoot. Yup. Okay, last 2 targets. I can see one kind of from here, and then I got a snake a little bit further, and see that guy kind of from here. Okay, some considerations. This wall is not over the shooting area, or not part of the shooting area. If it was over this balance beam, then it would be part of the shooting area, and, well, you could gain support from it. So if we're here and we're leaning against the wall to shoot that target, that is gaining support from something that is not part of the shooting area. Those are penalties. That can happen. Most likely, we will probably run this balance beam just under, so that the wall is the end of the shooting area. Because I don't want to have to deal with those penalties. And people are going to be salty if they're standing here shooting a target and touching the wall, gaining support. I'd rather not have salty shooters. I'd rather not put you in the position to get those penalties, because you would get them. I don't want that. So that might be a little bit of a change during setup. Another thing you'll notice, this is double bay, right? We've got stage, what is this, 12? Stage 12 over there, stage 13 right here. Most likely what will happen is we'll put up a wall right here so you can't see those targets from here. You can't shoot those targets. Consideration, that bobber right there. That wall might be right there, just so you can't see that target. Another thing we can do is we can change these targets to IPSC targets, so it's really clear which targets are part of what, what stage. That's going to be a choice on setup. Most likely, you're going to shoot the back here, stage 13, then you're going to move up here and shoot stage 12. We'll see. That is morning of sort of decision. Cool. Yeah, I think we went over everything. Most likely, there might be some barrel strikes, like some glancing stuff. These are hardcover, So, you know, you stick it through a barrel, doesn't count. So if you kind of stand here and you plop through this barrel to knock that steel over, range equipment failure and a reshoot. And we'll probably have a pretty stern talking to. Yeah. Like, I've had to have a conversation with somebody who, like, stood in a spot, shot through a barrel that was hard cover, like, purposefully shot through it. Not like right here where it would be like a glancing hit, but like clearly through the middle of a barrel to make a steel fall. I don't really want to talk about 10-6, but yeah. Don't do it, please. Okay, anyways, that was stage 13 from Outland Empire, USPSA, level 2.